Hey y'all, what's going on? Happy Monday to you all. I hope everyone is doing well today and that you all had a good day, right? It was a good day. It was a profitable day. It was a miraculous day. Some of you probably had expected some miracles and God blessed you with some. But just grateful to see another day, y'all. So I'm your girl, Twonta Davis Jones, and I'm here to bless you tonight with some good content. And of course, our dear sister Leticia Campbell, she's not here for this evening, but we come here together every week to bless you with some great content, topics, testimonies, you name it. We, as the sister to sister connection, that's what we are. We sisters to sisters. We come together, making a difference, making a change, hopefully making a positive, you know, um, movement, for via social media, of course. That you ladies, even there's some gentlemen's watching too, but for mostly for the sisters, that you really are enjoying it and that you are really um, taking it all in. Um, we have been doing this for quite some time, and it has been such a blessing for all of us, those who have been supporting us, and even us privately. We both have families. Got kids. Well, my kids are young adults now, and of course, Letitia, she has her babies. We both are striving each day to achieve the goals that we put forth. And we have a life. Because y'all, life, ooh, Lord, life be life, and man. And here's the part that really trips me out. It's the life in that you had nothing to do with. You didn't cause it. You didn't, premeditate it. You didn't plan it, man. And I'm experiencing that today. My water heater died this morning, and water came everywhere in my basement. Just the back part of it, but yeah. So of course we had to shut off the water in the entire house, and financially we can't afford to get a new one. I mean, it's dead. We called one of our brothers in the church that actually does that installation kind of thing in general, and my husband FaceTimed him to show him what was up, to let him see the water coming out from underneath the pump, and I mean the water heater, and uh, took him step by step as how to turn off the water altogether, because he tried himself to ignite the pilot light, and it did not catch at all. So come to find out from from what our brother in our church had said, it looked like it died on us. So, and if y'all know anything about a water heater, them things ain't cheap. Now, if you contacting someone professionally, you know how much it's going to cost you anyway. It's in the grands. It's in the grands. But if you are not able to afford to do that, you have to basically hunt one down for yourself, praying that you could find something that's reasonable in your budget. That's one thing. And praying that, it lasts for a long time. But then on top of that, you got to find someone that can install it and that won't rob you dry for the labor. Y'all, when it rains, it pours. I tell you the truth, y'all. Ooh, do. Keep us in your prayer, y'all. Okay, because I tell you, life is ooh, because when you're already going through enough, or you're going through some things, And especially it's a financial situation as it is when you're not getting any income because, my husband has been working for over 2 years. No fault of his own. It's just what it is. But thank God for my daughters. I mean, he's getting something, but it's not like how he used to get. But again, y'all, it's one thing after the next. And now this. And like I was telling my daughters, I said, listen, it's not on us. It just happened. I heard it this morning and I was like, what is that noise? And I heard the water, like a stream, like water stream. And I heard it and I was like, is the water leaking? I didn't know what it was because first of all, it's in a storage room in the back part of my basement. That part we did not get finished years ago. So it's back there with stuff and cobweb. Ugh, I hate cobwebs. So I wouldn't go back there. I'm a little punk with that. But anywho, and I told my husband about it, and he came down, and I was like, water just spewing out, y'all. Oh my gosh! And thankfully, thank God that it was like in a it didn't like spread throughout the entire back part of that area, praise God, but it was more than enough that it seeped through the wall and starting to wet my carpet. So I mean, it is what it is, right? At the end of the day, I mean, I had a choice to allow that to really get to me more, get more stressed and all panicked and stuff like that, because I was getting a little bit antsy because that water was coming, okay? But at the end of the day, I was like, well, Lord, it could have been so much worse. And I'm so grateful that it didn't get that far. But now we gotta find a replacement. And my husband has been connecting with a couple of people, even one guy that actually installed that water heater over a decade ago. So it lasts us for good 12 years. And thank God we keep our receipts and all that stuff. And we checked it. He called the guy, but unfortunately he's not with that company anymore, but he did refer someone that we could feel comfortable to work with and whatnot. So long story short, we have a couple of options, and one of them is truly out because we cannot afford 2 grand or more to get a company to do it for us. That's out of order, out of order, out of order. The other option is, of course, we got to buy it ourselves. My husband didn't call, Home Depot. He found one that's like around $600. And, where can we get $600? Like, what? And then on top of that, we got other bills, yeah. So, like I said, I have an option. And we talk about this all the time. When we have our shows, we always talking about choices and how to allow what to do when we are bombarded by so much. And so we got to practice what we preach, right? So I choose to still rejoice. I still to say, God, I thank you anyhow, because you're going to work it out some way, somehow, because he already knows our story. He already knows the dilemma. He already knows where we are financially. So I just trust and believe that he's going to work it out, and see what happens. So, hey, it is what it is. So if y'all know someone that could be a blessing to us, please let me know. I ain't got no problem asking. Okay, listen, if I gotta do a GoFundMe page, okay, because baby, it be like that sometimes. Okay, I ain't judging nobody with people who post a GoFundMe page, with the exception like for those, unfortunately for a funeral or something that's different. But for people who are really struggling and going through, and that is the last option on the list, I ain't mad at them. And thank God for the people, complete strangers, that actually do pour in, and praying that that person who started this GoFundMe, whether it's them themselves or some friend of theirs doing it for them, that is legit, okay, first and foremost. But overall, you see the blessings come. You see the blessings come. So I don't know. That GoFundMe might be a blessing for me at this point. I'm serious, cause child, we need it right now. We need it right now, y'all. I'm telling you. Let me know, guys. What is the one thing right now? Like, we say when it rains, it pours, or I don't need nothing else to mess up my day, or I don't need anything to make me feel so overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if you have have you had any experience in the past. Like, what was one thing that really just hit the nail, on that coffin for you, like, so to speak. Like, we were already dealing with enough stuff, but then here comes something, especially one of those unexpected emergencies or those unexpected situations, like my water heater busted, that situation. Let me know, what did you do? How did you feel about that? And what was the outcome, right? What was the outcome for that, right? So anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and share that with you, right? Because like I said, I'm making a choice. I choose to just still rejoice, still be exceedingly glad, knowing that, what, things could have been so much worse, but thank God it isn't. It is what it is. And so we just got to keep on moving on, right? And just be grateful. Be grateful, right? Be grateful. So, yes, y'all, this is your girl, Twonta Davis Jones. And like I said, this is Sister to Sister Connection Live Show. And those of you who are watching us on our YouTube channel, thank you so much. I hope that you definitely do subscribe, give us a thumbs up, all those wonderful things. And definitely let us know where you're watching from, all those good things, right? And share the video out to your bestie or to your sister friends so they can be encouraged and be inspired and all those wonderful things. Like I said, we've been on here for quite some time. And Leticia and I, we come and we share from our heart. We're not experts by any means, except for our own personal businesses or what have you. But when it comes to life, baby, I won't say we're like an open book, like we tell you everything, because we don't. But we go ahead and share our testimonies. We share our experiences, both professionally as well as personally, right? And we also share in the spiritual sense as well, right? So, I hope that you all truly, those of you who have been watching and following us, I hope you really have been blessed and inspired and encouraged and all those things. So I'm the content creator. I do come up with the topics and the points and all that good stuff. So hope you, like I said, hope you all have been enjoying that as well. So tonight we are going to be talking about something important that we as women need to continuously remind ourselves, that it's not over. Just like I was just sharing my little testimony about what happened this morning, I had a choice to make, and I can either allow this thing to, suppress me, because I'm already experiencing or dealing with stuff as it is as a whole, or I can just go ahead and just like, you know what, God, thank you for a sunny day. Thank you for a glorious day. Thank you because you still reign. You still, glorious, all those things like that. Not saying that I'm totally ignoring what's happening or what's going on, but I just choose to worship. I choose to just say, God, I thank you anyhow, because that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. Okay. Those of us who are Christians, or, that we have a relationship with the Lord, that's what we're supposed to do anyway. Even through the circumstances that we're in, you may not be able to give God the full spiel of worship, but if you just say hallelujah anyhow, that's worship. That's a prayer. That's a complete sentence. He receives that anyhow, right? It's all good, right? But tonight I wanted to just talk to you very briefly, to you sisters, about about this topic, because I believe that a lot of us are still in this suppressed state due to the weight of issues and situations that we have been dealing with for quite some time, on top of some new things, right? And so I think this is coming right on time. I actually posted, not posted, but I actually brought it to my girls, Tisha and Therese, a few days ago. Sometimes a few days ago, not knowing that tonight, this day, particularly this day, this morning, I was going to deal with this situation, right? But let's put the topic up, sis, Therese. The topic for tonight is, but you can't lay forever. That's the topic for tonight. You can't lay forever. You cannot lay there forever. What do I mean by that? You can't stay stuck. You can't stay stuck to um, whatever has been stressing you, that has been causing some discomfort, that has been very discouraging, right? I mean, I understand you come there for that moment, but you can't resign there. You cannot make that your permanent home, your housing, because all it's going to do is just going to dry you up from the inside out. It's going to have you feeling numb. It's going to have you start thinking totally opposite because you only focusing on the pain, the hurt, the discouragement, the betrayal, the lies, whatever it is, right? And just life in general. Like I said, life presents things to you that is beyond your control. You didn't plan it. You didn't have no idea, and it hits you, bam, and you're like, really, Lord, now, you know. And there's people right now that are probably have already expressed that frustration on top of everything else that they're going through. But where you are right now, you've been laying there far too long. So I'm going to share a few points with you as to what you need to do about that. Okay. So let's get to the first point. And listen, y'all, if you notice, if you want to be a part of my Sister to Sister tribe, definitely Teresa is already sharing with you the information. You just click on that and you could go ahead and request to be a part of the Sister to Sister Connection tribe on our Facebook page. And we go from there. Okay. So the first point I want to share with you is that, first of all, you need to acknowledge the fall. You need to acknowledge what happened. Okay, let's talk about that. Acknowledge the fall. Why are you there? What got you there? Was it a divorce? Was it a bad breakup? Was it a family dispute? Was it a betrayal? Was it a loss of a job? Because, everything that I just mentioned and then some, that's a grief. That's grief right there. And not everybody handle grief the same. Some people will just go ahead and say, oh, well, let's move on, find another job somewhere else, right? Keep it moving. While others will really feel that for a while. You know what I mean? Or a bad breakup. Yeah, I mean, that person is disappointed. They may shed a couple of tears or something like that, but they bounce right back up the next few days or whatever, But there's some that are really, really heartbroken by that thing, because they really committed or they really care for that person. And and that's just their nature. They love hard, they love easy, or what have you, and that can really place a person in that moment where they don't feel like getting back up. They stay in that dark spot, that dark space, right? So, first of all, we need to learn to talk about it, acknowledge it, make it present, make it known, right? Because sometimes people want to fall into denial. They don't want to accept the fact that that person don't want to be with them anymore. And I can share very quickly, when I was in college, my college sweetheart, we were dating for almost a year. And I thought everything was great. I really believed, I really believed that he was gonna be my husband. I sure did. I sure did. And because he met my mom fell in love with him, and vice versa. How that worked. And that summer of '90, we had to sing at one of our former concert chorale brothers' funeral. And by that time, school was already out because I was there for summer classes, and so of course we connected. But after that, he went back home, and I stayed on campus. Maybe, I don't know, a good week or so later, I got a letter from him, and he dumped me with the letter. Like a Dear John letter kind of situation. Yes. And I was like, what the hell? I would that messed me up, of course. And I went and called him, collect. Now back in the day, this was like 1990. They did have pay phones back in the day. Y'all remember the pay phones? Y'all remember the pay phones? And I called collect because he gonna take that call, right? And I asked him, what is going on? Because he said, hello. I didn't even say, hey. I said, explain this. Because, that Newark hood was coming out of me quick. And he's like, oh, you got the letter or something to that effect. I'm just paraphrasing the conversation. I said, what is it? Explain this. What are you talking about? Why are you breaking up with me? Blah, blah, blah. He said, well, you read the letter, right? Being all smart and sarcastic. I'm like, the heck? Well, you... And I was like, yeah, but what is going on? And he did not really go into details. Bottom line, he didn't want me no more. Bottom line, right? So, of course, as time passed on, he comes back on campus, and, I was not having that because I'm like, no, you are going to stand in front of my face and you're going to tell me eye to eyeball that you don't love me no more. Right? Right. If you don't want to be with me no more, you want, all that stuff. And I did pull him to the side, and he couldn't look me in my face. So for me, I did not receive it. I just could not receive it. So yes, I continue on, and I wasn't like being like possessive. Please just get that clear. I wasn't being like that. But I just could not receive the fact or accept the fact, in other words, that he just dropped me like that because he didn't have no feelings for me. That was just so weird because we were going together for quite some time. But I kept on believing and hoping. And part of me was in denial, bottom line. Part of me was in denial, right? And eventually it did get me in a very bad, depressed state. Because, of course, he was starting to really treat me bad and totally diss me and all that stuff or whatever. And that was really hurting me. And I don't know if he was doing this to try to make his point across or whatever the case may be. But, I was just trying to tough it out, just that or whatever. But I allowed that to really fester in my heart because I just could not understand why he did not care for me like I did for him and all those things. And so that prolonged my my relationship or whatever for a long time, even after I graduated college, even after I left college, so to speak. I was really feeling bummed out about that, right? But at some point, I had to start living again. I had to start making a decision because I had to come to the realization that this person was not interested at all in me, right? And I had to move forward. I had to move on, right? So I had to acknowledge that to myself. It's one thing to acknowledge it to your bestie or to your or someone close to you. You got to acknowledge that fall to yourself. And it hurts when you do, right? Because you want to stay in this illusion, if you will, or in this hope box that everything is going to work out. Everything is going to be great. We're going to work it out. We're going to get back together, whatever case may be. But the truth of the matter is not. Most time it doesn't happen that way. And so at some point you do have to acknowledge that fall. What got me here? What got me to this position to not move, to not breathe, to not keep living my life? And I had to make that acknowledgement to myself. Okay? But here's the thing. I had refused to build a home there. I acknowledged the fall. And then when I acknowledged it, I said, okay, now I got to start living. I can't reside in a home that he did not participate to build with me. The relationship is dead. It's gone. No matter how much I visualize or imagine or dream, because I had my dreams, it wasn't happening. And at some point, I had to let that go. I had to let that go. Was it easy? No, it wasn't. It took me a while to start living, moving forward, and put him and that relationship in the back burner, the back of my mind, right? And there may be some of y'all right now that, you have yet to acknowledge the fall, the cause, the why, the reason. And that's what you need to start doing. Acknowledge to yourself why this happened. Okay. And then from there, start making the move to leave that what you have acknowledged behind and start building a new life again. Okay. It's going to take brick by brick, if you will, or nail by nail, or however you want to, illustrate it to your satisfaction, to your liking. But it's going to take time. But at least you're active with that, right? You're moving with that. Okay. Let's go to our second point. So when I'm talking about movement, um, let's go to our second point, Therese. Therese, is she there? Therese is moved. Thank you, babes. Okay, so our second point: make movement your medicine. Let's stop right there. What do I mean by making movement your medicine? Let's start healing you. I'm not saying to start running and, be like Speedy Gonzalez, or the Tasmanian devil, just, going all, no, because child, you're going to crash. No, you start taking those steps little by little. As you see, you start small, right? You start little by little. It's starting to activate your muscles, it start to activate your blood cells, all of those things. It start to activate your mental. Now you're starting to make a move. And I'm not saying you're making a move from your bed to the refrigerator and then from the refrigerator back to your bed. No, I'm talking about get up from that bed, go ahead, take a shower, brush your teeth, all that stuff, put on some clothes, right? Comb your hair, get a wig piece, whatever you got, girl. Put on a cap, call it a day, go out of your house, right? If you need to walk around your neighborhood, then do that for 5 minutes. Let that air just let the breeze just hit your face. You know, breathe in the natural air, right? But start making that movement because it is healing to your soul. When you acknowledge that fall, it's painful, it's hurtful. And it could be very, very, yeah, it could be very, very painful for sure. And a lot of people don't jump out of it quick enough, right? um because depression is real, and I know because I've been there, and I know what it can do to you. And if you don't be active, if you don't move and take a different route, or go take a look at a different scenery, I'm telling you, that wall that you're in, that you made as your prison or your cell or your coffin, literally, seriously, it's going to start speaking to you. And all you're going to be thinking about is dark stuff. You're going to be regurgitating the pain, the memory, the hurt, the words, the attacks, all of that, because you're so locked in that space. So that's why I said don't just move from the bedroom to the kitchen, from the kitchen to the bedroom, and you stay in there for another few hours, and then you get up to go to the bathroom, and then from the bathroom you go back to the bed. No, no, get up, wash up, get dressed, get your car keys, or just go out and walk around or drive to the park or wherever. You know, take the small steps first, right? But here's the thing, you got to start now. You got to start now. Not like, well, I hear you, sis, but I do it tomorrow. I do it tomorrow. Um, yeah, I do it. You know what? I do it at the weekend. You know, no, get up, girl, get up from your backside, okay, and let's go. I don't know if some of y'all have the best of friends that literally would come to your house and keep on ringing that doorbell, honey, until that doorbell has a panic attack of its own. Okay, going ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. It'll stop ding donging, okay, because your friend is abusing that bell, okay. But you get up out that bed though, and you like, what are you doing here, girl? I'm here for you. Let's go. We going out. What you doing? Okay, right? And you know, if you have one of those kind of sister friends, you better love that sister friend for life. Okay, praise God for her. She will come in and she's like, so what you doing, girl? I'm just chilling. Yeah, I see. And you making a grave too, girl. This ain't your time. Ain't your time. And you know, she's not making light of the situation. She understands your hurt. She understands your situation because you're besties. You know, you tell each other, you know, all that. But at the same time, she's not gonna let you go down that dark spot, that place, because she knows how it will do you. And she sees there's greatness in you, and she's gonna pour it into you. Like, girl, come on, come on, come on, let's go. Come on. Let's go ahead and get you something to eat. Oh, let's go ahead and get you something to drink. Let's go. Come on, get your clothes. Come on. And you be like, girl, I don't feel like going. Look, I love you, cuz. I love you, sis. I do it tomorrow. No, you're not. You're doing it now. She's saying we starting today. If you want to do it tomorrow, that's fine. But today is the day you're going to start small. Today is the day you're going to move. Today is the day that we're going to leave this house and we're going to go out. Okay, we're going to go to the park, or we're going to go to the movies, or we can go have some. We go to Starbucks, honey. Okay, come on. Where you going? If I have to drag you by your chinny chin chin, okay, right? And listen, she tough. She tough because even if you were like, girl, I ain't going nowhere. Don't you understand? I'm hurt. I'm not. Girl, I'm hurt too. Okay. But you don't see me crying over that Negro. You don't see me. You know what I'm saying? She like, look, I love you. That's why I'm here. And I'm gonna help you. Okay. You're not gonna die like this. There's too much life left for you. So we're gonna make a move. And I'm gonna make sure you move your backside. So get your behind up, and she ain't gonna say behind, but get your backside up, and we gonna go ahead. If I have to brush your teeth myself, we gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But you leaving, you starting today. Okay. If you have a sister friend like that, you better love on her good. Okay. You better say, Lord, I thank you for my bestie. Because if it wasn't for her, the God in her that ministered through her to you, ooh, it's no telling where you will be. Probably still in that room in your own coffin right about now. Right? But you got to make that move. That movement is all about starting a new beginning, a new life, right? You take these baby steps, just like a baby will take that first step. Yeah, they're going to tumble and fumble. They're going to fall, but they giggle and laugh and get right back up. Or they may cry, but they get back up though. So likewise, sis, you may fall. You may laugh about it, but you get back up. You walk a couple of steps, but you fall again. And this time you're going to cry, right? And you may sit there, but you're still going to get back up. You're going to have your coach, your best friend, is somebody that's going to say, I got you, sis. Come on, let's go. Let's go. I'm going to walk with you. I'm going to help you. Even if you take 5 steps, that's all right. At least you're moving. Okay. You're not moving in the same spot, but you're moving elsewhere. But I'm here with you. Okay. If you need to cry, cry, but you're going to keep on moving until you can't cry no more, until you start to see life a little different, right? Until you start to feel different. You start to breathe different. You start to respond to, to today's life differently. Meaning that you will go ahead now and start changing your bedding. Because you've been in that room for a minute, y'all. You've been in there for there. If it's time to shower, time to wash the bedding, child. Open up the blinds, sugar. It's time to get all the bowls and your soda cans or whatever. Because listen, and that's how hoarding starts. Mm-hmm. That's how hoarding starts. Because those individuals that are really deeply depressed, they don't care about anything at this point. They just want to stay in a position that they feel some type of safety. And that's just how they thrive for some. But that's how hoarding begins. And if you have, like I said, if you are blessed with a dear friend that knows your triggers and they know how this can spiral to a dark spot, they're going to do what they got to do to make sure that doesn't happen to you, that you don't go down that route. They are going to help you through it no matter what. So make that move, y'all. Let that be your medicine. That's the first part of healing, is that you start moving. Here's the thing, as I had mentioned before, you may come to that situation, but don't live in that situation. Okay? Don't park your car there. Don't park your heart there, right? Don't park the memories there and stay locked in. No, you have that moment, but you say, you know what? It's a done deal. I want to get through it. I'm not going to let this thing get the best of me. I'm not going to let this thing eat me from the inside out. I'm not going to let this thing rob me of the days that God has allowed me to embrace and to enjoy. I have allowed it to happen too many times. I am taking control now. I'm taking the power within me, and I'm going to start fresh. I want to make that move. Okay. How many of you have someone in your life? If it's not you, or if it was not you, maybe someone you know now that's going through a very bad situation. They dealt with a breakup or divorce or a betrayal or whatever they encountered. And right now they are really, really discouraged and, very heartbroken and all those things. Let me know. Post that in your comments, in the comments, and let me know, how you are handling, what are you doing about that, or what have you. Because this is what's going on right now for a lot of people. And it's not even just about, people depressed over a bad breakup or divorce, which is one of those reasons, but life in general. Life can hit you in all different directions, man. And it can really do something to you, right? And it can keep you stuck for a while. You know what I mean? And there's people who are, afraid of failure too. There's people who are afraid to start living because they're afraid to fail. And they could get depressed over that, right? But don't get paralyzed by this, because when you get locked in that space, you don't want to move. You don't want to move. You don't want to do anything. You just want to stay there. And that's why it could be so frustrating sometimes when someone does come and try to peel you out of that bed or out of that couch. That's when that tussling come in, or that the words back and forth. Right? No, you got to get up from that. You got to get up from that, right? So get out of that bed, with intentions. You make up in your mind, that I'm going to start small today. I'm going to start making a move. I'm going to set a goal today. Make that your go-to. I'm going to set a goal. What goal is that? It's just one goal, y'all. One goal, and you go ahead and pursue that goal, right? And then here's the thing. Start celebrating those tiny wins. It doesn't have to be huge, just small wins. Celebrate that you have consistently since Monday, and here it is, the following Monday, you have been consistent in going and taking a 10-minute walk in your neighborhood without fail. right? Celebrate that. Celebrate that, right? Because within that week, something shifted. Something shifted. Now your thinking is different now, right? As opposed to saying, I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. No, instead of that, now your mind's going to say, I'll take the next step anyway. I'm going to keep going regardless. Hallelujah, anyhow, right? Hallelujah, anyhow. Okay. And I want to stay on this. I'm staying on this a little bit longer because I'm telling you right now, whether you recognize it or realize it, there are so many people who are stuck or paralyzed due to a downfall that has happened in their life. And it's not just from recent situations, it could be months. How many of you may know someone like that that is still grieving over the loss of a family member, over the loss of a career, over a loss over a relationship? And if it's not that, it could be the fact that they're overwhelmed because it's just so much going on with life itself. Again, that's talking about fear of failure, right? And there's some people who are just waiting for the right time. They're waiting for things to just happen. Well, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till the summer starts. Then I can do what I need to do. No, you just go, make it happen, make the move, make the move. Because if you don't, you're gonna stay stuck, and it's gonna wreak havoc in your body. And I know people right now who are physically breaking down due to them not moving, not walking, not being active. you know what, and moving is also like, cleaning your house, or maybe folding the laundry. That's your clothes been sitting in that dryer for a whole few days. The wrinkle came back, and you probably had that dryer set for wrinkle free, and now it's back to wrinkles all over again. But get up and get those clothes and start folding. Start using the muscles in your body, okay? Because I'm telling you, life can really wreak havoc in your physical body. It can cause some, it really can cause some paralysis. It can cause some panic attacks. It can cause some, um, what is it? Some dizziness, all of that stuff. It really, really can. And people may think it's something else, but it's all due to stress. It's all due to the fact that you have not acknowledged the fall. You're still in denial. You don't want to receive what has already been said to you, been spoken to you, and right in front of your face. You still want to believe and have hope and all of that, but you're still stuck in the moment. It is time to breathe. It is time to get up and move. Start small, but start now, right? All right, let's get to our last point. Reclaim your life. See, when you start making that move, guess what? You taking charge. You reclaiming your life. You say, you know what? I'm going to do this. Yesterday was hard. Making that first step, which is true, y'all. When you start making a decision about doing something, that first step can be very difficult. That first step could be very hard. And it's, sometimes you're afraid to start new, you're afraid to start fresh, you're afraid to start a new relationship, whether it's professional, personal. You're afraid to connect with people because of the triggers and the toxic uh, situation, but as you start moving forward, you are going to be introducing yourself to new activities that can start healing you from the inside out. Going to therapy, right? Going to this physical therapy or whether it's for your mental, but you are making that first initial step, okay? Because when you do go to therapy, I'm pretty sure that that person will tell you this is an introduction to a new life. Okay. I've never been to therapy yet. It is my goal to go to one because I think we do deserve to go to one so we can really reevaluate our life. Okay. But I would assume, or I won't assume, but I will hope to believe that that therapist will say something to the effect that, this is your first movement to a new life, to a new beginning, right? You were meant to live, not just survive. Because here it is, a lot of people are surviving. I hear it all the time in people's conversations, people's statements, people comments, people who does content creators and stuff like. I'm just surviving right now. That's not God's intention for us to do, to just to survive. No, we supposed to live and to live more abundantly. Come on, y'all. That is the goal every single day. And yes, life will come and hit you and knock you upside your head every now and then, right? It will have you down for a minute, but once you regain that strength, God give you the strength. He will help you up. It is time to make that move. It is time to move forward. It's going to be wobbly for a minute, but you are moving forward because as you're moving forward, you're leaving that stuff behind. It is time to reclaim your life. It is time to say, you know what? I want to see what the future is for me that God has already planned ahead for me. Okay? Because when you stay down, it drains your purpose. A lot of you know your purpose, you know what you need to do, what you're supposed to do, and all those things. But when that situation comes and hits you with a ton of bricks, and it keeps you down for a while and you purposely stay down there, you don't think about your purpose. You don't care about purpose. You don't care about it. You want to stay and just, you know, die down there. You know what I'm saying? Right? But when you start getting up, you are reactivating your senses, you are reactivating your power, right? And there's more in you. There is more in you than you can ever imagine. I'm telling you, for me, what I have endured during the past 20 years of my life, ooh wee, I could tell you the truth, man. I didn't think I was going to make it. I didn't think I was. I can't tell you how many times I threw that towel in that center ring, if you will, of my mind. And God just threw that towel right back at me. Right? My grace is sufficient. That's what he would say to me. My grace is sufficient. And I'm going to get you through this. Right? You just got to trust me. I'm with you. I never left you, daughter. I never left you. And that's the thing. When you get locked in your depressed state or your misery or that grief or what have you, it will lie to you and tell you that there's nobody here to help you. It will have you to believe that nobody cares. It will have you to believe that you all alone and you will always be alone and that nobody cares for you and nobody gets it. Yada 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 yada. Bull junk. Now, God is with you. He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. He sticks closer than any brother. So all you need to do is just call on the name of Jesus. He's right there. He right there. I say he right there. Look, right there. You got to say, look, he right there. Right? And you just go ahead and just cry, or you just moan, or you just let the tears fall where they may. He'll catch them and preserves them, right? And he's there to hold you, to embrace you, right? To cuddle you, to whisper into you, to let you know how beautiful and how valuable you are to him. He will let you know that. And while he's doing all of that, your strength will be restored. You will start to feel a little different. You start to feel a little bit better. You start to have a little pep in your step. Okay? Trust me, I'm telling you from experience. Every now and then, you have one of those moments. And I know for me, I have those moments. Like today, I had that choice to choose to allow this unexpected moment to really suppress me and have me get irritated, aggravated, all this stuff, being moody, and have me feeling all kind of way. No, I said no. I'm not going to let that happen. No, because God has been too good. He has been with us so many times and so many different incidences that has happened that was not even on us. And it was rough, yes, but He still got us through it. He got us through it. Okay. And if He did it before, He can do it again. Right? He can do it again. So, again, y'all, reclaim your life. Hold on to that. He has allowed you to see this day for a reason. Thank God for His grace. Thank God for His mercy. Thank God for His patience. And thank God for another chance. Right? So don't, don't, you know, um, don't reside there. Don't allow the memories or that current um, pain or frustration or whatever continue to dominate your thinking. It's time to renew your mind. As you start reclaiming your life, also start renewing your mind. Okay? Start talking positive. Start thinking positive things. Start speaking out positive things, right? Like today, I'm going back to my situation with the water heater. I'm like, well, Lord, you know what? I'm grateful. It could have been so much worse. I'm thankful, God, that, yeah, the water was coming and boy, was it coming, but it didn't flood my entire basement because my basement is carpeted. Just that little portion because it's right by the wall. That water's right by the wall. So, yeah, it starts to leak through. But other than that, that's it. That's it. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. God, you worked it out for my good, and that's what I got to do. And yes, every now and then, my husband brings me some more news or what have you. And I'm like, okay, I have to make up in my mind real quick. Okay, Twonta, don't go back there. Don't sit there. Do not put a seatbelt on. Okay, and get comfortable in that grief. No, get on up, get to stepping, find something else to do, okay? And still say, God, I thank you anyhow. God, you working it out. God, you working it out. You're going to work it out for our good. Lord, you already have the control of the heart of man because you created everybody on this planet, okay? So you know exactly how to do it. We don't know how to do it. We just doing what we need to do. Contact people, see what the costs are, see what the options are. And once we make that decision, well, we just going to trust you from here, oh Lord, because you're going to work it out. Because you know we can't live without water. We need water, y'all. We need the water. We need the water to wash up, to shower, to brush our teeth, to cook, to use the bathroom. We need that water, baby. Right? So I'm not going to stress about it. And let me tell y'all, this came through a lot of discipline. This wasn't me 10 years ago as far as my way of thinking. This wasn't my way of thinking 20 years ago. I would be panicked, I'll be scared, I'll be nervous, I'll be anxious, I'll be trying to see somebody can help me. All of that. But now that I have made a decision to have God to walk in this journey with me, and to start renewing my way of thinking. It hasn't been easy, but I still pursue. Now I'm in a position where I'm like, okay, Lord, you got this. Because you said, cast all my cares, everything. Every little eensy teeny weeny beeny weeny one. It don't matter how good, how small, little, how finite, or how big or gigantic it is. Cast it to him. Why? Because he cares for me. He wants me to take the day that he created for me to walk in abundance, to walk in my greatness, to walk in my purpose, with that purpose, for the purpose, right? And just have fun and not worry about the what ifs, not worry about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, not worry about, oh, maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have called. Maybe I should have did this. Maybe I should. Girl, stop it. Just stop it. No. That's why you got to move. That's why you got to reclaim your life and renew your way of thinking. Because if you don't, that coffin that you have made as your room, that room you made as your coffin, I'm telling you, that's all you're going to see is darkness. All you're going to see, and you're going to regurgitate the darkness, the dark memories, the pain, the hurt, the betrayal, the lies, the what ifs, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You're like, I should have just done this 20 years ago, and I would be where I did that too. Oh my gosh, how many times did I go back? Back. Y'all want to see this? Back when I was in college, and I changed my major, and I should have stayed and stuck with that major. And here it is 20-something years later in my life. I'm regretting it. And God had to get on me on that. He forgave me, but he said, why haven't you forgiven yourself? Woo, that thing woke me up that day. And even within that day, I still didn't bounce up quick. It'll take me a minute to receive that, right? And then now I had to start walking in that truth. I had to acknowledge the fall. And when I started to acknowledge that, then I had to start taking these baby steps. And I didn't know it was going to take a while. Every person is different. Some will graduate quicker than others. But even if you haven't got to that finish line yet, that don't mean you stop and cave in and quit, because life be lifing. You still go on ahead and keep on living. You take that moment, take that incident, take that unexpected emergency, whatever comes your way, and say, here, Lord, I'm giving it to you. I'm casting it to you. You take care of it. And I'm going to continue on pursuing in my journey, walk on purpose with my purpose, and be a blessing for somebody else today. I've come a long way, y'all. I've come a long way, and I couldn't have done it without God's grace, without his help, without his support, without his love, and even the people that was in my life. Thank God for the faithful few, because I don't have many. I only have maybe one or two. For real, for real. I don't see it like a bug or something. Sorry. Because you don't like bugs now. Oh, Lord Jesus. See, I'm already ready for fall, y'all. I can't stand bugs. But anyway, I only got one or two people who I, can really let loose. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God for them. But it's God who is the one that has been helping me and developing me, right? Because there's something greater in me. As I had mentioned, there's more in you than what you have ever experienced before, right? See, your future requires your participation. So you need to stop waiting for permission. Okay, decide that you are worth the effort, because you are. I want you to type in, I am worth the effort. Come on, somebody. Okay? Start creating, if you want, create a vision board. Start, creating this new you that's soon to emerge. Okay? And again, it's not going to happen overnight, but you are making the move. You're making the start. You're starting to choose joy again, right? This is what living means. This is talking about new life. Every day that God wakes us up in the morning, it's a new day. It's a new life. It's a new beginning. So you're going to choose. I'm going to choose joy again. I'm going to choose life. I'm going to take risk today. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to go ahead and make it happen. Okay. Whether it goes my way or whether it goes the way I would like to go or not, at least I did it. Instead of just pondering the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or what if, or I should have, or I could have. No, I'm going to do it. Right? And start believing again. So instead of saying I'm stuck, having that crazy mindset or that stinking thinking, no, say no, I'm rising. I'm living. I'm prospering. Even if nothing doesn't happen today physically wise, But know in the spiritual realm, what you have already spewed out is already activating for your future. Because now that's what you're walking towards. And you want your future to be abundantly full, that you can walk in your harvest and enjoy the moments. And then you look back over your life and you say, how did I got over? Right? I look back over my life, how I got over. Right? And you're like, oh, I understand now, Lord. I get it now, Lord. Right? Because now you see the growth. You see the resilience in you. Right? You see the dominance of you, the warrior in you. Right? And you will be so proud of yourself that you did not officially, you know, stay in that dark space too long. You've been there long enough, right? You've been there long enough. So let me just ask you this quick question. We can move on. What is the one thing that you can do today, right? What is the one thing that you can do today that proves you no longer stand where you fell? What is the one thing you can do today that proves you no longer are staying where you fell? What is it that you can do today? That I'm not going to stay, I'm not going to continue to stay here. I'm going to get up, I'm going to go, I'm going to get up, I'm going to, write my thoughts on paper. I'm going to get up, I'm going to start, redecorating my room. I'm going to get up and start a new business. I'm going to get up and start, helping my sister, or whatever. What is it? What is that one thing that you can do today? Because when you do it, it's all about movement. It's all about activation, right? So listen, y'all, I hope this, really helped you. I hope this really came right on time for you, because again, like I truly believe that this is happening for a lot of people today, because there's so much going on. It's so much going on today in people's lives, and it's becoming so overwhelming that a lot of people really, they feel stuck. And there's some people want to stay in that stuck, in that darkness. But if you got that one true friend that knows you very well, and they're going to ring that doorbell till that doorbell says, I quit. Right? Or to your friend open that door like she about to bust a move. Right? Like, will you get your finger on the doorbell? She like, well, at least you up. You open up the door. What's up, shorty? Because, I was about to wonder if you were still breathing, because I was about to break the glass window. Come on. At least you, hey, baby, how you doing? Okay. It worked. It worked. Okay. But like I said, y'all, you can't lay there forever. You got to get up. You got to live. You gotta breathe. You gotta strive. You gotta keep going. Your future is so much brighter than where you are right now. Because even in the future, life will continue to be life and then. Okay? All right, look, we're going to move on. We have a What's New segment. Our What's New segment is where we put the spotlight on individuals who are doing wonderful, great things in the community. So our dear sister friend, Therese, she has blessed us with another article, and I want to share it with you. Therese, you got the article, love? And so we can talk about this here. And this is so cool. I love it. This is Moms on Proms. This is based in North Carolina. This is a mom who starts inclusive initiative for teens with special needs. Oh, how sweet. And this is in Raleigh, North Carolina. So we have 17-year-old Darius Huggins, yes, attended his senior prom in Raleigh with a special escort, his mom, Maxine Huggins. How sweet. And she wanted to ensure he felt comfortable, confident, and supported during his important event. She said, recently, Darius asked me to go to prom with him, and I initially said that a mom doesn't go to prom, but he kept asking me. So curious about her persistence, Maxine started investigating why he wanted her to accompany him. And at one point, he couldn't find a date. Up until the day of the prom, multiple girls had turned him down in his classroom, and he was becoming increasingly worried as the prom date approached, which added to his stress, right? Because y'all, I tell you, prom can be a little bit stressful sometimes, right? But Maxine quickly sprang into action, posted about Darius on social media, and her efforts garnered a lot of support from other wishing to help him make his prom experience memorable. Darius expressed his appreciation for his mom, saying, "My mom loves dancing and singing. That's what I love about her." And Maxine is starting a movement called Moms on Proms to support teens with autism or other special needs who may face challenges with traditional prom experiences. And she hopes that Darius will remember the inclusion he felt and that he had a mom who listened to him. I hope he remembers he was included. I hope he remembers that he had a mom who heard him. So, looking ahead, Maxine plans to expand her Moms on Proms initiative next year to assist more teens. And if you're interested in joining the movement, you can reach out to her. And she has her email, y'all, that you can definitely check out. So if any of you who are who has a special need teenager, you could definitely email her. She has her information, Mrs. Maxine Huggins at gmail.com. And you could click on that and go from there. This is absolutely beautiful. I love that. And I truly believe that this is going to be a global phenomenon that, eventually once she starts, getting the support from the social media outlet, that eventually it's probably going to start like a charter group kind of situation where one another group from a different state or something like that want to start something similar to that or whatever. I mean, the opportunities are endless for her, so this is absolutely amazing. And like I said, prom season is here. I've seen some pictures already of seniors posting their prom pictures. um I forgot about prom, so to speak, because my daughters are already done with high school. But I remember when it was their time, and both of them, well, my oldest daughter, she went with her choir sister. They just tagged along together. My youngest one, she went with one of her friends, and it turned out great. It turned out great for both of them, you know. But for those who have autism or any other special needs, it can be a little bit challenging and discouraging too. Like he said, he asked some girls and they turned him down, and and that could really be, discouraging. But thank God for mom. Thank God for mom, right? And so, yeah, this is such a sweet, sweet story. And so, guys, take this story, pass it along, share it along. Again, if you know someone, if not you, that may have a son or daughter that is about to graduate soon and they're about to, they want to go to prom. And as a matter of fact, last week, if you watched our show last week, we was just talking about that with Leticia and her son. Her son was saying that he was considering not going, but Leticia was like adamant, like, "Oh, he going." And I even suggested that, yeah, he should go because he's going to regret that later on, years later in life. Especially when he starts having kids. But definitely go. I mean, society makes prom like you have to have a date, and if you don't have a date, you're not popular, or people going to talk about you and all that bunch of stuff. Whatever, some of those students who got, or those young ladies or men who are dating or going on a prom date, they probably wish they never did went on the prom date. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying it, but right. Either way, it's an event, and it's a once in a lifetime event. So go, right? Go. And also too, I get it. sometimes, that senior may not want their mom and or dad to be their chaperone, not so much chaperone, but to be their date, if you will. It's one thing of them being a chaperone. It's another thing to be in a date, right? But I know some teens probably feel a little kind of odd having their parent to, escort them to the prom or whatever. But if need be, why not? But yeah, it's not a requirement for you to have a date by your arm, on your side. That's okay. Still go. I remember when I was in high school, I was saying this last week with Leticia. I said last week, technically I was going to go by myself, but my choir brother and I shared the same class, and we were just talking in general. A few of our other friends, and we were just talking about prom and stuff. Like, what you got on? What you got? And that's like, you got a date? I like, no. You got a date? You're like, no. Like, well, we want to go together. Yeah, let's go. So that's how we hooked up. We went together, plain and simple, right? If not, I was gonna go by myself, looking cute and fabulous. Hey, in the limousine, yes, okay, and had myself a good old time. Okay, um, and yeah, it's a once in a lifetime experience. So definitely make that happen, right? So I love this article. Thank you, Therese. I appreciate it. So listen, y'all, thank you so much for watching our live tonight. And we'll be back next week and with the new topic and content and all that good stuff. And hopefully we have how many more weeks we got? I think we got 2 more weeks before this season is out, if I'm not mistaken. I think we got more weeks. And we take a 2 week break from there, and we come back. And but we will let you guys know for sure when our last week is and when we will return and all those things. We got 3 more shows. Thank you, Glove. We have 3 more shows to go before we um, end this season and start our 2 week break and come back for our new season. So, yeah. And let us know what you want us to talk about for the summer. Hey, because we come back in June. After that 2 week break, it'll be right. It'll be in June, right? Yeah. And so what let us know. Give us some topics, some, of what we want us to talk about, we want to share, and whatnot. I know, like I said, I'm the one that creates the topics and all those things. So my brain will be flowing and going, okay, as to what should we talk about, because that's the time graduation is happening for all grade levels, and summer break, summer vacations. That's a transition moment for a lot of people. You're going to transition from that and then start a new season, new journey, new beginning for a lot of people. So yeah, whatever you want us to talk about, share it in the group chat, and we'll be happy to go from there. But other than that, y'all, have a good night. Take care. Keep us in your prayers. Keep us in your prayers. Leticia as well. Okay. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye, y'all.